Hey guys, welcome back to Mainville ATV and Outdoors, where we do all things all-terrain. Got a few things to update you on, including this mystery box. This is my drone. Hey Diesel. It is a box filled with rice because we went on a little bit of a misadventure last time I used it, and we're gonna see if that works today. I'm also gonna update you on a lot of things. Coming off a bit of a much needed vacation. We have side-by-sides, property stuff, finishing off the house update, the garage projects. We're gonna find out about all of that in today's video, so stay tuned. Well, I guess we're gonna start with the drone. If you guys didn't see, a couple weeks ago now, I did a video with Hyson, Rideau Lakes Power Sports, and one of the things that happened was I was flying the drone. I got close to a bridge, lost signal, and my drone just decided to do whatever it was last doing, and it just crashed into a tree and then fell into a river. Now, we actually managed to get the drone, which is impressive enough. You should definitely check out the end of that video. I have moderate hopes. And I know the rice thing's a bit of a gimmick, I know, but you gotta try. But it's amazing. Oh my God, maybe this is a bad choice. The fact that we got it was unreal. Where did all that rice? Oh, tell me rice went inside the drone. This might have been a very poor decision. There's rice in the drone. It's a maraca. It's a couple $1,000 maraca. Okay. Oh my God. If this works, I don't know. The water that it fell in was like basically shallow rapids. So the water was very, very clean. So there is a small chance that this actually works. It might just kind of fly with rice in it for the next forever. If you guys don't know, you have to calibrate these things. See if I can get you a decent launch pad here. Cannot take off. Go fly. I can hear the rice. Oh no. Latest firmware, we don't need that. Oh, maybe this doesn't work. Oh no. My neighbors at this point know I'm a YouTuber, but they get to watch me talk to myself and play with my drone in the yard. Okay, it's back on. And if I send it in for repair, they're just gonna find a bunch of rice in it. But I don't know if it'll be worth it. At this point, I might have to get a new drone. Turn off aircraft and restart. So ESC failure is what it's coming up with. If you guys know what that means, by all means let me know, but it's probably just fried circuitry. It's letting me do everything except for the takeoff. I mean, better results than I was expecting, but the drone's effed. Rest in peace, drone. It's been good. I'll see if I can get it repaired. If I can't feasibly do it, then I'll just get a new one. Honestly, this drone's done me so well that I may end up just getting a used Mavic 2 Pro, because not only do I have all the batteries, but I have the special remote, which doesn't work with any of the newer stuff. So I guess I'm the proud owner of an entire cooler of rice. Not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. But yeah, okay, moving on. We're going to talk about this in a moment, but for now, I'm going to put the rice back here because we're going on an adventure later in this video, and I'll dump that in the swamp or something. Okay, so you guys really liked the house updates, the tours, that kind of thing. I'm not going to do too many of them. I think we're going to kind of finalize that series here. It's not to say that there won't be updates in the future, but at this point, everything's going to slow down significantly. So the house is exactly where we wanted it as fast as possible. The reason why we're like that is because we move so often that we just want to make the place livable and dry and not have to worry about things. So we rushed to get to this exact point. So normally I'd show you guys a little bit of drone footage, but you're gonna have to bear with me on that one, obviously. But you can see that we have all of the siding done. So We had a lot of little details that we were waiting on. We ended up being short on some material, so we had to wait a while. So it took a little longer than expected, but ultimately the job is done and it looks great. All the little things, all the little details, they are sorted. There's some things that we obviously aren't done, like the deck now looks kind of weird. It's also a little dated. It's got some pretty DIY repairs that I don't really care for. We're gonna get to that kind of stuff. There's a little bit of landscaping to do, things like that, but I'm not gonna update you guys on that kind of thing unless you just happen to see it in a video, because those things are now gonna happen, you know, the odd Sunday here and there or whatever. The pace that we've been going at has been nuts, which is also why the last couple weeks I took a hiatus from the channel, because I just needed a break. Between this and all the other things that I've got going on in life, it was just nuts. And then the same with my wife. You guys haven't seen her on the channel too much lately, and that's because of some injuries that we're still dealing with on her side. So just lots going on basically, but we're getting back into the swing of things. As I'm filming this video, the trail's open in like 6 days, I think, something like that. So we're gonna have a lot more chances to get out and ride, and that is my goal this year, is to ride as much as possible, and I fully intend on doing that. Now that the house is done though, or at least, you know, done, we can put all that behind us, and I don't have to worry about this kind of thing anymore. We wanted to make sure that nothing was gonna leak inside and out. As you guys know, if you watch the channel, this series in particular, we had poop water everywhere. We had leaks here and there on the inside. We had rotten wood on the outside. It just needed a lot of work, and we knew that on inspection. We knew that that was gonna be a thing. We also made it worse on ourselves. Like, we extended the driveway and paved it, added a shed, the garage build, lists and lists of things that we've gotten done. But we're in a good spot, and the channel's gonna get back to where it came from, even more than ever, to be completely honest. I'm going to simplify and get out and ride. I think that's the plan, so I'm really excited to do that. As of now, the house is done, right? That's good. We're gonna move on to the garage. I gotta show you a few things that we've got going on there. I always say it's like, oh, it's about to be done. It really is about to be done, I promise. So we're gonna go check that out now. Okay, folks, the garage. Lots of little projects, don't mind the mess. I've been reorganizing a few things. We're getting ready for a few things, but a lot has changed. So we ended up getting our last couple of shelves. Bear with me, the light's overbearing from the door. So we got that done. So the Finntrail gear wall is ready to rip. So we have every type of gear lined up, and the lowest shelves are gonna be what we need this summer, and I can basically just rotate and then grab snowmobile suits and everything else. So this is an actual dream. And this is thanks to our two sponsors on this one. So Finntrail, of course, has geared us out, and Garage Living did the slat wall and the shelves and set us up with all of that. So, I mean, this is it. Like, this is what makes my brain happy, folks. So we have a few final touches that are gonna happen over time. I'm messing around with a few ideas on how to like store things, but I also don't wanna go over to the top where it becomes like more effort than it's worth. So I'm trying a few things, let's say. Got a few extra custom shelves kind of put in. I always have these up. These are some of the toys that kind of influenced me as a kid. They were given to me by my grandparents. Logging is a big thing in our family, so that's why some of these are skidders, which is probably my favorite thing on the planet. I intend on owning one for no reason at some point. We have some stuff to do to the Renegade. We actually have to get that ready for a ride in the next couple of days. So I have a few things that were sent out to me that I want to touch on. This is one of two projects that we're going to be doing. This is what I was talking to you guys in the past about, a custom wash bay setup. So all of this is going to end up being a power washer system on that wall right here, and you can see the new vacuum. So you're going to be able to power wash and vacuum from here 100 feet in any direction. So if I want to go out that driveway and clean a quad, or maybe my tractor's out back, I just want to give it a quick rinse, all of that's going to be here. It's going to be super dialed in. We're working with Garage Living to do custom plates, and I'm basically mounting everything so that if anything needs to be moved or changed, or let's say I move, all of this stuff can literally just be taken with me, and it can be installed on the next wall in 2 seconds. So we have hose reels and like different soap dispensers and stuff like that. Royal Distributing is currently working on getting us some different wash products to help with all of this. So they're working on with that. We have This is an active 2.0 power washer. So basically, when it's plugged in and on, you prime it, get the air out, and as you're using it, you literally just push the trigger, pull the trigger, and start washing. When you let go, it stops. So it's 2 gallons per minute and 1,000 PSI, which is more than enough to wash anything that you're looking to wash. I'm really excited to get this set up and see how it works. The reason why I'm doing this is sometimes I get so bummed out about washing my machine that I want to make it easier and get back to being excited about maintaining that machine. So I really enjoy washing machines, I really do, but when things are in the way, when things are annoying, it sucks. So I'm just trying to make it fun again, and I know that this is the solution for me. I just got to make it a little more convenient. This is it. So next, we are doing another hoist. And what it's going to do is buy us all of that space right there back. So the Auto Loft, who's our partner for hoists, they're coming by to sort out a custom single post lift that's going to go here. And we're basically going to stack the sleds so that when they're not being used between spring and fall, or some winters like our last one, I can just have them stacked right there. And by all measurements, it should be no problem to fit underneath the garage door there. The only thing is I might have to lower one handlebar. So I loosen a couple bolts, drop the handlebar, and boom, it's put away. So that's going to be sick. So you're going to have the sled stored, a washing setup. I'm going to have rolling buckets and everything so I can wash the trucks as well. Here is going to be all of our spare part storage, maintenance storage, and then like stuff like our chili mousse cooler and things like that. That's going to be all put away here properly. Right now it's an absolute disaster, but that's basically the plan there. And then I have a few details to sort out in the long run, but that's basically it. So the 2 big projects are going to be the wash bay and this hoist, which should be done in May, which is, you know, a couple days from now. Sometime in May, because Garage Living is waiting on a new line of their products for slat wall. So we want to install the new stuff so we can show you guys that. And this hoist right now, as of a phone call this morning, is getting modified to carry these specific sleds. So I'll show you guys that when it comes out. I've got a bit of an audience. I can't zoom very well, but in editing I'll kind of crop it in. The amount of deer here is outrageous. They kind of disappeared after hunting season for a little while. In the winter they like to just go kind of lay down and group up together near the cedars, but yeah, they're full pin again. They're probably waiting for my apple tree. That's what they're doing. It's like a sanctuary for these guys. Diesel does a pretty good job of getting rid of them though. So I said that I would talk about this unit here. This is an RTV-X. It's a diesel unit. If you've watched the channel for a long time, we've actually covered its predecessor in the past. Huckabone's Equipment is a Kubota dealer out of Cobden, Ontario, not far from us, that is one of my clients for video editing. So we've had a great relationship with them throughout the years, whether it was with the ATV club or the work I did for them. Since moving back, that's one of the places that we've been busy doing some video stuff and some photography and everything else. So I asked them if I could borrow a unit, and they obviously obliged. So we're actually going to use it in today's video, and you're probably going to see it throughout a few videos while I get used to all of its features, try it out, that kind of thing. What we're going to do is go to the backyard right now. I want to show you guys a few things, and I need some advice, which is one of the things that I love about doing this series, is you guys have helped me a few times throughout this house build that, you know, oh, maybe you should do it like this, or question this, or, you know, maybe this wasn't done right or could be done better. I have a lot of that going on in the backyard, and I'm hoping a few of you guys could help me out. So we're going to hop in this thing. I'm going to fire up a GoPro, and we're going to get back there. Holy, what an angle. Okay, we're going to get this thing fired up. We're going to head to the backyard. Hopefully you guys can hear me pretty well. We'll do a tour there. I'm going to show you guys the house. I don't have a drone. It would have been a lot easier, but yeah, we'll get you some shots with the GoPro. Isn't that weird hearing a diesel? E-brake? Really? Yeah. Where'd those deer go? Oh, they took off. Got a bunch of apple trees in the works. Yeah, they're doing pretty well actually. Got to keep an eye on them though, because the deer get them. These are all the maples that we planted from our trip. When I came through my my grandfather's trail, we took a bunch of maple saplings, planted them here. This apple tree's on the way too. And it's working out pretty good. So I'm honestly only hoping one survives, but if they all survive, that's great. What is going on with that one? Is that how they look? Huh. So there's all the new siding, new eaves. We have to do a lot of little work now, but we don't have to worry about water. Everything checks out. Pretty happy about that. That was the house's biggest problem was water damage, inside and out. So we're gonna head to the back of the property. I've been clearing a few trees that came down. We had a couple windstorms since the last video, and it's been pretty gnarly back here. Gonna have to keep some of this in check because it turns into an absolute Amazon back here so fast because of the swamp. That's all the trees that fell down on the trail just in this part. So lots of work back here, and you can see there's tons of fallen stuff that I want to get rid of, clean up. It's also pretty tight. Like my 65-inch Mavic Sport, I don't think it's gonna make it back here. I think this thing is 60-inch. This part of the trail is okay. It could definitely be built up a little bit better. The water's actually gone down quite a bit the last couple of days, but up here is where things start to get a little shady. That is one good looking swamp. Gonna have to get rid of this one too. Okay, so this is where it starts to really get bad. Oh. So, obviously we have some flow that we need to manage. And this seems to be the right spot. Lots of algae and stuff in here. This is like a absolute king breeding ground for just about anything you could imagine. The choir you hear here of like frogs and crickets and stuff is wild. Even like midday, it's just full bore. But as you can see, this trail's deteriorated a fair bit, mostly due to the water level was actually higher than all of this. Not much, but it was enough that when it kept like rising and lowering, all of that water would kind of take stuff away with it. So I think the only way to solve that, in my opinion, is to put a bunch of big rock in here. And I have a plan, and I'm gonna let you guys let me know if it's gonna work. But I think some big rock in here, and then we kind of put some gravel over top, it could work. But you can see this was actually covered when we bought the house last fall. So that water actually took out all of that soil that was supporting all of this side. These like 6x6 posts and stuff, I don't think these are actually going to do anything. Over time they're just going to degrade, get soft, and cause little holes, but for now I guess they can stay. Not sure what you guys think about that. Wow, the frogs are full bore. Usually they're quiet when I visit. This thing, I really do. It's an absolute mule. So whoever built up the trail, you know, was obviously combating this glorious swamp, right? And you can tell that they tried to build a base of rock, but I just think they ran out of rock at some point. I think where they're getting all of this rock is from the original fill that built up my yard. There must have been some extra, so I think I'm going to need a lot more, especially in this section. And I want to widen it as wide as this culvert. So the water here is, oh, that's about 2.5 feet deep right there. And I don't know what the bottom's like. I guess I could probably find out. I'm wearing my Jean-Guy rubber boot. It's actually a fairly solid bottom. I'm not going to tempt fate much more than that. But as you can see, this was actually in better shape again when we bought. So we're going to have to do something about filling this all in with rock, especially around here. Make sure this is clear so that both sides can kind of fill up as they please. And I think that's the game plan. There's a lot of great sections, and I think that's why the original person built the trail where it is. Just trying to island hop, but these are the low points, and they tried to manage the water pretty well, so I think we can still make this work. I just need a lot more rock to build this up so that it doesn't keep washing out. So I'm going to show you guys a very convenient pile of rock that I found on the other end of the property, and there's also some really cool cars I'll show you. Why there's cars, I have no idea, but maybe you guys can help me identify them, because that would be sweet. I think they're on my property. We'll see. This part gets a little bit tight. I'm gonna have to cut down a few little trees. You basically just have to make your turns real wide, because yeah, you basically rub up on the back quarter panel. Didn't make that one. I made it last time. You're just gonna have to believe me. So in the future, instead of doing that weird loop, I want to just come straight through, because I don't know why that loop is even there. I'm guessing it's because of the downed tree, but I can get rid of that. That's a tight spot right there. I got to get rid of this poplar or whatever it is. We're going to come back and talk about that tree. Yep. Perfect. That's what we came here for right there. I don't know why this is here. I'm guessing same thing. It's leftover fill or something from the original property being developed in like 2000 or whatever. But as far as I can tell, it's just a pile of rocks. Like, there's lots of leaves and debris and stuff on it now, but it's just rock. Like, so it's a fair bit of rock. I think this is all I'm going to need, right? So take this and then fill the swamp trail in, and then put something nicer on top, you know, some gravel or whatever, bring in a load of gravel, and then have that nice and clean so that we can have like our walking trail and access the back of our property over here. So that swamp portion is basically the first like 3 to 4 acres of the property. Then we kind of come into this section all the way to the back, and that's as far as the trail goes, and that's roughly 6 acres. And we have another 4 past that But if I can't manage this trail to get back here with stuff, then I can't look forward to using that back portion as well, because I basically want to set up like a big fire pit party area back here so that I'm not bugging the neighbors when people come over, you know, and then we can hit the bounty hole over here that I want to do. I think you get the gist of it. But do you think that's going to work? Do I use this pile of rock? I mean, the water can't take the rocks away unless it's like insane water flow. So I think that's the move. And, you know, if it settles or whatever over time, fine, I can bring in a little bit more. Eventually it has to stop settling, right? I would guess. Unless I have a bottomless swamp, which just makes the ATVing better, I guess. So we'll see how that goes. That's my plan for that. We're going to go check out the cars now, and then I'll show you the tree, and you guys can help me with that. Before we actually get on to, I forgot about this. Right here is roughly where the edge of my property is, and the other end is on the other side of the clearing. We found a pin, and we don't know for sure if that's the correct pin or not, but based on pacing that we did and measuring, the measurements work out to be exactly what they're supposed to be. So I have to believe that that pin is it, and I'll show you that one in a second. But yeah, so basically I know where roughly I could be as much as 8 feet out. I don't think I am. Our property at this point, its width is 1 acre, which is like 207.8 feet or whatever it is, 208 feet basically. That marker is at 200 feet, and that's what my property says. When we asked for our property layout, it says we're 200 feet wide. So not quite an acre, like just a sliver away from an acre at this point in width. So that's why I went to 200 there, but I could be 208 according to another piece of paper. So that's the tricky part. Luckily, this far back is where my neighbor's property ends and mine continues. So I'm pretty sure this chunk that I'm bordering, that 8-foot difference, is crown. So I'm not going to put anything anywhere near this, just in case somehow in the future something crazy happens and I get in trouble with crown. But ultimately, there's no issue with me like doing something near my neighbor's property, which I always try and respect. So never will I ever cause an issue with my neighbors. It's rule number 1 in life: be good to your neighbors so they can be good to you, and you'll have a much better time. Fortunately, my neighbors are sick, and they might watch this video, but I already told them they're great. We get along with both of our neighbors. They're awesome. So most of this clearing is ours. Pretty much everything up until just over here near the end of the clearing is ours. And then our neighbor owns the other one, and you can actually get to our other neighbor on the other side. So this area is where I want to do like a fire pit, do some logs so you guys can sit, party, big fire, you know, dig it out so it's nice and safe, that kind of thing. Here's the pin. So from this pin to that stick I jammed into the ground is exactly 200 feet. So, I mean, it works out. I don't know for sure if that's the pin. Would you guys ever mark property with a pin like that? It's like old school iron rod. It reminds me of a railroad tie. The previous owner mowed this up. I think that they were hunting back here, and we plan on hunting back here as well. And by we, I mean mostly my dad. But we're gonna get them set up so we can get deer back here. Yeah, so I want to keep this mowed so we have a walking path that we don't have to worry too much about like ticks and stuff like that. But I might even just mow all of this down, flatten it out a little bit for the fire pit area, do something cool. There's like 16 blinds on this property. I already took a couple down. There's a blind up there, which might not actually be on my property. There was a blind over there that I took down. There's a blind there, and there's a blind back there. So historically, this place has been used like 1,800 times by people to hunt. So these cars I don't believe are on my property. But I'm getting like 50s vibes from this. Let's see if I can get like a tailgate or something. Solid axle. It's got like a trailing arm coil design. I'm not an automotive guy, but you guys can help me out. There's the bumper and the tail lights. If you guys can see that. It's hard to get a glimpse. And then there's this guy here. Looks like it's got a fill cap on the rear end there. I don't know what these are, but they're not young. You know, maybe like 60s vibes at most, but hard to tell. The body lines remind me of like Chevys. Oh, maybe we can see some drill. It says 1960 something on the dash, or the bumper there for some reason. Oh, that's a license plate. It says 1969 on it. Like stamped into it for some reason. So there's these two. And I'll show you the other one. This is the end of my trail. Right here. And I want to continue it down here. Why? I don't know. It'd be cool just to access the whole property. Nice walking trail or whatever. I think that would be sweet. The water back here surprisingly didn't rise or retain like a swamp, even though this is way lower than my other swamp. The other swamp back there is fed from the ditches on our street. So this area doesn't retain any water. But here's our last car. It looks generationally similar. This is the front end. I don't know if there's some car experts that can tell what this is. Not as nimble as I once was. So, the same thing. A coil, trailing arm, solid axle rear end. I'm seeing a pattern. Similar taillight design. What does that say? Evro. Oh, Chevrolet. Cool. It's a Chevy. Chevrolet. Alright. See if I can get another view for you. Anyone need a tire? It's growing a tree. Yeah, so we have some cars on the property. But this is where I want the trail to come down eventually. But I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this is really steep. Which is fine. Our machines are going to get up and down this, but the moment there's like a heavy rain or snow or something, this would be tough to get up. So I own roughly 3.5 to 4 acres in this direction. I didn't think it would be hard to explore this property, but there's actually enough that I keep getting surprised every time I walk it. And that's really cool. I love that a lot. Being a property owner has always been a dream. This is my third property, and the one we are certainly the most happy with. Nailed it. Nailed it. I'm gonna have to dig out that little stump with the tractor at some point. You have to swing into that tree and it's dead. It's pointless. It doesn't need to be here either. I don't think that poplar's budding, so pretty sure it's dead standing. Okay, this is where I need your help as well. So I can't quite tell with the canopy and the way it is what kind of tree this is. My uncle, who's got a lot of experience, all he had to work off of was a crappy cell phone video, and he seems to think it's an elm. The other ideas are that it is either basswood or an ash or even possibly a maple. It's hard to say for sure, but basically some sort of soft hardwood. And I want to cut this up because there's either really great logs or lots of firewood sitting here. And it's obviously been down for a while, but it could have been dead standing for quite some time to grow these mushrooms and stuff on it. But I think it'll burn, folks. So do you have any idea what this tree is? It's going to be a lot of work, but between that Kubota and my tractor, a saw, and some time, I think I could dig this out of here. I really do. Maybe I build a really cool log bridge. That'd be sweet. The canopy does kind of look elmish. You know, where it's kind of top heavy and spread out kind of haywire, but I don't know if you know what I mean. That's the only way I know how to identify an elm. There's a couple on the property. They're pretty popular here too. But yeah, I guess ash has also been thrown around. I have a hard time identifying trees, but I'm trying to learn, and I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. But so here's kind of an idea. This is what I mean about it kind of looking mapley. But I mean, you know, there's a lot of trees that kind of do look like it. Like, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but basswood, B-A-S-S wood, also looks like this when it's mature. But it's not a very good wood. Look at this. It's growing a healthy tree right now. Look at that. Oh, crazy. It's actually budding. It's growing new trees. Is the root system still kind of attached? Because that's nuts. Nature's wild, dude. I totally forgot about the rice. Yeah. What do you think? Do we dump that in the swamp? Is nature going to do something with rice if it's not wet? I guess it'll get wet eventually. Well, go get rid of this. I'll set you up for a tour through the swamp. Sun's freaking bright. Holy. So, I mean, that's the property in a nutshell. We want to get that trail up and running so we can, you know, access the back of our property, go for walks, that kind of thing. But I also want access to that bounty hole, a cool fire pit area, you know. That way I'd bug my neighbors less if I have a few rowdy individuals over. Have you guys seen the shed? So, I don't know if you can see this very well, but this is where all of the off-season goodies go. I've already got this all swapped back, the snow blowers off of it and everything else. This is what we're going to use to clean up that trail for the most part, I believe. But yeah. Oh, Diesel, you're still outside? Yeah. So for this whole video, you've just been hanging out on the porch? You're lucky. You're lucky dog. Or did you open the door again? Nope. Sometimes he opens the door, but interesting. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of it. I just spent the other, like, I think it was actually yesterday, just hanging up little things. This shed doesn't have to be anything but useful. So, you know, I spent some time just kind of organizing things because I hated having a pile of stuff here. This shed was purchased so that we had a place for oddball things. I don't like raccoons and stuff getting into my garbage, so that's why they're in here. But all this can get locked up. It's all within view of all of our cameras and stuff too, so that way if someone wants to get too adventurous or steal things, I guess I at least have them on camera. But don't worry, I have a sick guard dog. He's going to get you. He's going to get you. Yeah. Hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah, yeah. Good boy. Did you protect the property while I was gone? Hey? Yeah, he's sick. Yeah, watch out, he'll lick you to death. So anyway, put this cooler away. I honestly basically never use this one anymore, ever since we got the other cooler in the garage. It's just nice supporting a Canadian company. So I hope that's a good enough update for you guys, just to let you know what's going on. We've obviously been busy with the house, busy with the move, busy with everything else when we were selling in the province, and all of that stuff has just been insane. And then for us to tack on not only our regular lives, but all these renovations, even with all the incredible contractors that we hired, you still have to manage all those things, juggle all the stuff, make sure stuff's out of the way, things are lined up, like all that stuff. It's just insane. So I was getting pretty close to burning out. So I think for the next little while, I'm going to do nice, easy, chill videos like this. Just kind of get back to how the channel really started, you know, and I'll mix in my regular stuff. But ultimately, what I do here on Mainville ATV is just for me, you know, it's just for Cass and I. It's just to kind of share what we're doing. I'm not looking to be the next Mr. Beast or anything like that. So I've just really enjoyed this property. I'm going out of my way to slow down and just have a good time, you know, kind of be present in the moment. I know it sounds corny, but you get to a point in your life where, you know, some things just matter more than other things. So I love doing YouTube, and as far as I know, I'm going to do it as long as I can, just because it's really fun to do, and I think that's where I need to focus. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. You know, make sure to let me know what you think about the problems and the scenario that I'm in back there in the backyard. If you have any questions, you know, leave them down below. I'll answer them. So it was good making a video today. It was good getting out. Feels like the first day of spring. So yeah, I'm really excited. Trails open up in the next couple of days. I'm going to get out there and ride. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to get away from too much fancy camera work and stuff and just slap GoPros on things and ride. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be good. So appreciate you guys. Check us out on other socials. For our YouTube members, thank you so much for the extra support. Appreciate you guys. For all of you on all the other platforms asking questions and saying hello, it means a lot to us. So hello back, you know. That's corny as f***. Anyway, see ya.